When the store staff decided I didn't look fancy enough, I thought it was just another awkward moment. Turns out, it was the opening act of a show where masks drop and fake glamour crumbles to dust. They thought they'd get away with it. Trust me, the ending of the story wasn't what they expected. But let's start from the beginning. Kai Madison. Trump wasn't the type to let superficiality get under her skin. At 19, she had a quiet confidence that didn't need flashy outfits or loud accessories to announce itself. Her go-to style? Comfy hoodies and sneakers that whispered practical rather than screamed designer. So, walking into Chic & Beyond, one of Los Angeles's most exclusive boutiques, wasn't exactly her natural habitat. But hey, her best friend's birthday was coming up, and Kai was determined to find the perfect gift. The moment she stepped through the frosted glass doors, the atmosphere shifted. You'd think someone had just tracked mud onto a white carpet. Two sales associates, Sheila, a blonde with a nose so high it could touch the ceiling, and Liam, her overly polished male counterpart, paused their conversation mid-laugh to give Kai a once-over. Sheila's eyes darted to Kai's oversized hoodie, then to her plain sneakers. Her lips curled into a smirk. "Looks like someone wandered into the wrong store," Sheila whispered to Liam, not so quietly. Kai caught the comment but decided to let it slide. Her focus was on the task at hand, finding something thoughtful and elegant. She started browsing a rack of dresses near the entrance, the fabric practically glowing under the boutique's perfectly angled lighting. But just as she reached out to feel the material, Sheila's voice snapped through the air like a whip. "Excuse me," she said, her tone sharp enough to cut glass. "We have a policy. Customers must consult with an associate before handling the merchandise." Kai blinked, her hand frozen mid-air. "I was just looking," she said, keeping her tone neutral. Sheila raised a perfectly arched eyebrow and crossed her arms. "This isn't just any store. We cater to clients who can actually afford what we sell." The words hung in the air, heavy and deliberate. Liam let out a chuckle as if Sheila had just delivered a punchline. Kai felt her cheeks flush. She wasn't one to get easily rattled, but this was outright disrespect. Still, she took a deep breath and decided it wasn't worth escalating. Turning toward the door, she began to leave. "Maybe you'd like to check out the clearance section downstairs," Liam called out after her, his voice dripping with mockery. That was the last straw. Kai stopped in her tracks, spun around, and faced them both. "You know what? That was incredibly rude," she said, her voice steady but tinged with frustration. Sheila let out a laugh, the kind that made it clear she didn't take Kai seriously. "Rude? Oh, honey, we're just trying to help." Kai stared at them for a moment, her mind racing with comebacks. But instead of giving them the satisfaction of seeing her anger, she turned on her heel and walked out, the boutique door swinging shut behind her. Outside, the bright California sun felt jarringly out of place after the cold reception she just experienced. Kai stood on the sidewalk, her emotions bubbling beneath the surface. It wasn't just about the humiliation, it was the principle. How many others had they treated like this? She reached for her phone, her fingers hesitating over the screen. Posting about it felt tempting, but was it worth it? Little did she know, this wasn't just an ordinary bad shopping experience. This was the spark to a chain of events that would shake Chick and Beyond to its core and reveal that no one should underestimate Kai Madison Trump. Outside the boutique, Kai leaned against a lamppost, trying to catch her breath. The sting of Sheila's words lingered like an annoying pop-up ad you couldn't close. She had promised herself she wouldn't let this stuff get to her, but her eyes betrayed her, filling with tears she couldn't hold back. She quickly swiped them away, hoping no one would notice. "This is ridiculous," she muttered under her breath, pulling out her phone. Her fingers hovered over the screen, her emotions swirling between anger and humiliation. Finally, she opened her notes app and started typing furiously. "Just left a boutique where the staff decided I didn't look rich enough to shop there. Not that I asked for their opinion. They made it very clear I wasn't welcome. Honestly, is this how we're treating people now?" She paused, reread it, and hit post. No hashtags, no name drops, just raw emotion. She put her phone back in her pocket and started walking, hoping to distract herself. But distraction wasn't in the cards. Minutes later, her phone buzzed and buzzed again and again. She stopped to check, her eyebrows shooting up. Comments were flooding in. "This happened to me at a different store last week. Name and shame them. Let's shut them down for good. The post was spreading faster than she'd expected, and before long, people were tagging friends, sharing their own stories, and calling for action. The hashtag #ChickenBeyond started trending within hours, even though Kai hadn't mentioned the boutique by name. Someone had figured it out. Meanwhile, inside Chicken Beyond, Sheila and Liam were basking in their smug satisfaction. Sheila had just finished bragging to Liam about how she handled the situation when a colleague rushed over, phone in hand. "Guys, you might want to see this," she said, her voice tinged with panic. "What now?" Sheila rolled her eyes and grabbed the phone. A video was playing, a clip of her snapping at Kai, with Liam chiming in about the clearance section. The caption read, "This is what shopping while looking too casual gets you. Do better." Sheila's face turned pale. Liam froze. "Wait, who filmed this?" he asked, his voice suddenly shaky. No one answered. The video had already racked up thousands of views, and the numbers were climbing. Comments poured in, ranging from outrage to disbelief. By the next morning, the situation had spiraled completely out of control. The video hit 1 million views overnight, and news outlets started picking up the story. Social media was ablaze with questions. Who is the girl in the video? Why does this boutique think they can treat people like that? Are they going to apologize or keep pretending this didn't happen? In a panic, the boutique's management scrambled to delete negative comments from their social media pages, but that only added fuel to the fire. People started reposting screenshots, calling out the boutique for trying to silence criticism. While the internet was unraveling, Kai's phone buzzed with a message from her best friend, Taylor. It was a link to the viral video. Taylor added, "OMG, Kai, this is you. What's happening?" Kai stared at the screen, unsure how to respond. Before she could, another notification popped up. It was a message from her dad's assistant. "Mr. Trump has been informed about the incident. He'd like to discuss this with you ASAP." Kai's stomach flipped. Her dad, a well-known business tycoon, was not the type to sit back and let things slide. But instead of diving in headfirst, Kai and her family decided to take a step back and wait for the right moment. And while Sheila and Liam nervously watched their boutique's reputation crumble online, Kai stayed quiet, knowing the storm was far from over. Days after the viral explosion, the boutique finally broke its silence. A polished, carefully worded statement appeared on their social media. "We deeply regret the misunderstanding that occurred in our store. Our goal is to provide an inclusive shopping experience for everyone." The internet's response? A collective eye roll. Comments flooded in faster than they could delete them. "Inclusive? You mean as long as you look the part? Try harder. This is not an apology. This isn't a misunderstanding. It's a pattern." The backlash didn't stop there. Protesters gathered outside the boutique holding signs that read, "No style, no class, no thanks," and "Respect customers, not wallets." Reporters camped out on the sidewalk, jostling for interviews with anyone who'd speak. Inside, Sheila and Liam weren't handling the pressure well. Sheila paced back and forth in the back room, her usually perfect bun now a frazzled mess. "This is insane," she hissed. "I can't even open my Instagram without getting hate messages." Liam, slouched in a chair, muttered, "Maybe you shouldn't have said half that stuff." "Me?" Sheila snapped. "You were the one who suggested the clearance section." Their bickering was cut short when the store manager walked in with a clipboard and a grim expression. "Sheila, Liam," she began, her tone ice cold, "we need to talk." A few hours later, the boutique released another statement. "The employees involved in the recent incident are no longer with our company. We are committed to rebuilding trust with our customers." But the internet wasn't satisfied. People wanted accountability, not just convenient scapegoats. And then came the twist no one saw coming. It was a sunny afternoon when a convoy of black SUVs pulled up in front of the boutique. The reporters perked up like meerkats. Out stepped Donald Trump, flanked by 2 security guards and his daughter, Kai Madison Trump, who looked nothing like the girl in the viral video. Gone were the hoodie and sneakers. Kai was dressed in a sharp navy blazer and tailored pants, exuding confidence. The crowd buzzed with questions. Is that her? Why is Trump here? The boutique's staff froze as the pair entered. Kai's sharp gaze scanned the room, her silence louder than any words. Donald Trump didn't waste a second. He walked straight to the doors, motioning for the reporters to gather around. Once the cameras were rolling, he spoke, his voice calm but firm. "No one, Absolutely no one has the right to judge someone based on their appearance or make them feel unwelcome. Not my daughter, not anyone. This is about basic respect. The boutique's manager peeked out from behind a display, her face pale. Trump continued, "This isn't just about Kai. This is about every person who has been dismissed, disrespected, or devalued because of assumptions. And let me tell you something. Respect is non-negotiable." The crowd erupted into applause. The scene was all over the evening news within hours, turning into a media sensation. As the boutique scrambled to save face, customers boycotted in droves. Within weeks, the store shut down, unable to recover from the PR disaster. But for Kai, this wasn't just a win against a snobby boutique. Sitting at home, scrolling through countless messages of support, Kai realized something. Her voice had power. She didn't need her father's influence or the spotlight to make a difference. She had her story, and that was enough to spark change. From that moment, Kai decided to use her experience to raise awareness about bias and discrimination. What started as a humiliating day in a boutique turned into a journey of empowerment, not just for her, but for countless others inspired by her resilience. Because sometimes the best revenge is not just standing up for yourself, but making sure no one else has to go through the same thing. How would you have handled this situation? What do you think about it? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Have your friends or loved ones ever experienced something similar? Don't forget to like, share, and join the conversation. This story was created to shine a light on an important issue and inspire positive change. Remember, your opinion matters, and together we can make the world a better place.